For recording purposes, if I can get your name, please, and name of the new single.
Yes, my name is Paige Penney, and my latest single is called Carhartt to Heart.
Let's do this. Coming down to three, two, one. Paige, great to have a chance to meet you, especially because it's let's say it's a double celebration because we're going to be talking about a single. But don't you have something also happening with you with one of the biggest award shows in Canada? What's happening with that, please?
Yeah, I do. I just got nominated for my very first CCMA, so that is coming up, which is super exciting.
Congratulations. What's the nomination on?
Thank you so much. I'm nominated for Innovative Campaign of the Year for my last single, Southern Draw, which is so cool.
Now explain that because honestly, I don't know that nomination very well.
Yeah, it's such a cool award and nomination. So Innovative Campaign of the Year shows something on social media that led you to something big in your career happening. So I and myself and my friend with friends who I put out Southern Draw with went down to Broadway in Nashville, Tennessee and recorded us going up to complete strangers and getting them to listen to our song. And let me tell you, it was hilarious. The reactions were raw and real, and we got it on video and got so many people dancing to our song on Broadway. Put it on social media. It did extremely well, and that led our song charting to all the way being a top 40 hit on Canadian country radio, and the song just doing phenomenal. So, all because of those little Broadway interviews.
Now, first, I got to say, innovative, smart. I love it. Brave.
It's very
Um, like, what would have happened? It would have happened. What would have happened? Somebody said, "No, the song sucked."
Well, I'm glad that didn't happen. No one said it sucked. We did get a lot of people who were like, "Do you want to be in a video?" And they're like, "No." So that's bound to happen. But you know what? I'm a very extroverted person, so I was okay to deal with it.
But you're still doing this stuff because I saw one where you're like talking about the kind of guy to explain that one.
Yeah, so because of the success of the first one, we ended up making it a series and going on to Broadway multiple times for Southern Draw. And then when I put out my latest single in the beginning of August, I thought, hey, what if I do it again? It worked last time. So this time I went outside of the Carhartt store on Broadway in Nashville and basically camped out there waiting for guys wearing Carhartt to walk out of it and interview them.
Now you said the word. You said something else. You used the word heart.
Yes.
Okay, now that's another thing that we can talk about too, because future iHeart.
Yes. I
Can
have.
you explain that, please?
Yeah, so that's another amazing thing that came from Southern Draw was I was named iHeartRadio Future Star. So that was amazing and such a cool opportunity. I actually got to go on a radio tour because of this song and got to tour all over Canada to the radio stations, and I actually went to iHeart headquarters in Toronto, and that was so amazing, and they had me over there and they're so sweet. And yeah, just they're really a huge reason why all of Canada got to hear my song and it went so far. I also was named Acadia Breakout Artist with the song, so a lot of really cool things happened from it.
What is that song about?
Yeah, so it's called Southern Draw, and it's basically about a girl falling for a guy with a Tennessee accent, which I moved to Nashville a couple years ago, so very relatable in my case, and I'm sure there's a lot of other girls around the world who feel the same way about a Southern Draw.
Now you're Canadian. I
Yeah,
don't want to be mentioning ages or anything, but you're young.
I am.
And you moved to Nashville a couple of years ago?
Yes, so
Look, at your age, I was just thinking about the next grade I was going into. How do you, at such a young age, make that kind of decision?
yeah, so I went to Nashville when my first trip ever to Nashville was when I was 9 years old. I went to see Taylor Swift on her Red Tour in
Of
Nashville.
course, of
Of course.
course.
And that was kind of the moment I was like, oh, I love this place. And I want to be Taylor Swift, obviously, when you're 9 years old. Everyone did. But then when I was 14, I went back to Nashville to record my debut EP, which was a crowdfunded album that I raised the funds in my hometown. We ended up raising 10 grand to go down to Nashville, record my debut EP. I was only 14. And that was my first taste of Nashville in a business way. I was writing down there and recording and dark horse recording down there, which is super cool. And at 14, that's when I knew. As soon as I graduate high school, I want to move down to Nashville. So when I was 18, literally the day I turned 18, I packed up my bags and hopped in the car, and myself and my family drove all the way from St. John's, Newfoundland to Nashville, which, if you're wondering, is a 48-hour drive plus a ferry because Newfoundland's an island.
I'm blown away by this. Have people told you you have an old soul?
Yes, I mean, I've been like this since I was basically 9 years old. That's when I started performing. And they're like, "Who are you actually 9, or are you like faking this right now?"
You're a little person who's actually like 40 years old.
Yeah,
What did your family feel about all this? They sound very supportive.
they're super supportive. So my dad's actually a songwriter, so that's how I kind of got into this whole thing. We've been writing songs together ever since I was basically talking, walking. I played the guitar, started when I was 7 years old, so they have just been super duper supportive of my journey. And yeah, packing your kid up at 18 and sending them to Nashville, that's pretty amazing. So I really have to thank them a lot for that.
But it sounds like you're doing the right things because the right things are happening. That doesn't happen for a lot of people, though. What do you think it is about your tenacity that's making all of this happen?
Yeah, I think not being afraid of what could go wrong and just going for it. I'm definitely a hustler, um, and just putting myself out there. How many times have I just went up to random strangers and be like, "Hey, want to get coffee? Hey, my name's Paige," and just like putting myself out there, not being afraid of anything. And I think that has to do with a lot of it. And the hustle is, it's all about the hustle. I've been writing like crazy, performing like crazy, just putting in the hours.
What kind of stories do you like to write about?
Yeah, so definitely a lot of personal stories for sure. Um, since 18 to now, I just had my 21st birthday 3 days ago. So a lot has happened in between then. I've definitely had a lot of life experience that I write about. And I'm also just, I'm a sucker for a good melody, a good beat. So when I'm in a session and something like that's going on, it's really easy for me to come up with some inspiration there.
So let's talk about, I like to make this part official. What is the name of the new single
Yes.
and how does it reflect your life right now?
Yeah, so my latest single is called Carhartt to Heart. You can see I'm wearing the Carhartt jacket right now.
Uh,
So Carhartt to Heart was such a fun one to write. It in Nashville, and especially I think all over the world right now, Carhartt is kind of having its moment. All the guys are wearing Carhartt, especially these jackets, which started the inspiration for the song. But I really just wrote about blue collar love and wanting to get wrapped up in your man's Carhartt jacket. But I actually did go to my personal life for this song. My grandparents, they owned an auto body shop in Logie Bay, Newfoundland. And my grandpa was a mechanic, and my grandma worked at the business, and my uncle was the other person who worked there. So very family business. But growing up, they were always in Carhartt, head to toe, and they'd come home super greasy because they are mechanics. And I would always remember going there to my grandma's for dinner, and she'd say to my grandpa, "Don't come in with your work boots on, don't come in with your work boots on." But sometimes she would let it slip, and she just missed them so much, she'd let him come in. So I actually added that line in the song. It says, "You can come in with your work boots on."
oh.
It just shows about like, come on, you can get your hands dirty because I love you so much, that kind of thing.
Oh my goodness, so cool. There's so much I gotta ask. I'm gonna jump around a little bit. Is there gonna be an EP or an album following all this?
Yes, there is going to be an EP following in the new year. I have just been writing like crazy, like I said, and I'm so excited for you guys to hear what's next.
Now, I don't want to get too personal. I never asked this kind of question, but because of the stories that you've been telling me,
Yes.
what kind of guy would you want to date? If the guy's got to do it right, what kind of guy does he have to be to date you? Because you sound like somebody who's going to be full of success, but you really want that working blues kind of dude.
Yeah, I mean, if he has a southern draw, it's definitely an added bonus. If he has a Carhartt jacket, definitely an added bonus. You know what? We're not going to stick to that stereotype, but I wouldn't be mad if that happens. But obviously, he has to be a good guy first. That's the main thing.
Do you know many guys right now who are going to hear this or watch this interview are running out now buying the jacket
Well,
and trying
yeah.
they're watching videos going, "Can I do it? Can I, the southern accent?"
You can't fake that. That has to be real. I gotta say, you can't fake the southern draw. That has to come within you. But you can get yourself a Carhartt jacket. That one you can. Money can buy that. Money can't buy a southern accent. Money can't buy a Carhartt jacket.
Now, because you just turned 21, congratulations. Is there a drinking song to write in the future? Because as we all know, it doesn't matter if you're US, Canadian, Australian, all country artists have written a drinking song.
Totally. I actually have said to my co-writers, I really want to write a song about turning 21 in some aspect, because it is such a monumental moment in the U.S. And that my whole experience in Nashville, I don't even drink really, but I just haven't been allowed to go into these bars at all to go see shows. So that's one of my most things I'm excited about is I'm finally going to be allowed in the bars to see music live, which will be awesome. But yeah, I told my co-writers as soon as it was my birthday, I was like, we are writing something about this on our next session. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Fantastic. And because we're into fall and winter's coming up, any chance for holiday music from you?
Yes, so I have written a bunch of holiday music in the past and have actually like done some cool renditions of classic
Yeah.
Christmas songs that I put a spin on. So that is definitely on my radar and something the fans want to hear. So yeah, for sure.
In the meantime, as we speak, CCMA's literally what? A week and a day from now, somewhere around there. What are the plans so far for you?
Yes, so I am playing a couple times up at for CCMA week. I'm playing the Blue Jays sessions, which I'm super excited about. The lineup is awesome and it's almost sold out, I believe. So
Yeah.
get your tickets quick. And I'm also doing a fun little private showcase for with my other country friends, and yeah, so it's going to be a jam-packed week. I'm just really excited to hang out with all my co-writers and fellow artists friends, and it's going to be really fun.
What about, hanging out with Sasha or Megan Patrick or any of them? You got to be looking forward to meeting them.
It's such an honor to be. I'm nominated alongside of Megan Patrick for this award, and she's someone I've looked up to since I was a kid. Like I remember she came here to Newfoundland and played at George Street Festival, and I watched her sound check, and I was only like 14, I think. But that was so inspiring to see her rocking out. And now that we're nominated alongside each other is just so freaky and so inspiring.
I love that. You can just turn around and just say to her, I'm going to beat you. I'm
No,
taking
no,
this
no,
award.
no.
This is mine.
No, not at all. I'm a
And,
big
and,
fan.
and say it with a southern drawl. That'll even
Yeah.
work better. Look, I am cross my fingers. All the best for you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Before we wrap it up, I'm going to ask this question probably again, but for folks who are also trying to find out their path. I mean,
Yeah.
you are doing it so well, and somehow you think about it and you make it happen. What
Yes.
advice can you give them who are probably having a hard time in that mind and create? What advice can you give them?
Yeah, I would say put in the hours is the number one thing you can do. Like get your chops up. That's once you have that base, you can do anything. And really just like write down your thoughts and your ideas. Like if you have something you want to do, write it down. And I totally believe in like manifesting something and just like working towards that goal because if you put your mind to it, odds are you're going to accomplish it. So just keep working hard.
You're proof of that. Congratulations on the nomination. My fingers are crossed for you to win. Congratulations on the music. Looking forward to the EP coming out and cross fingers, holiday songs.
Yes, yes, totally. Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.